A bit of background. This happened in the summer, and I believe I was about 12 at the time. I was staying in a hotel in a fairly large city with my mom and younger brother. We were visiting other extended family, but chose not to stay in their house. My brother is younger than me by a decent amount, so I was usually told to keep an eye on him. On the day we arrived, my mom told me to do just that while she checked us in and received our room card. So my brother and I sat down on a couch in the lobby and just relaxed a bit. While we were sitting, a man in about his mid-40s walked into the hotel. The couch was facing the hotel doors, so I got a good look at him. I remember that he was very average looking. Describing his features in detail could generate several different images. The guy comes in and sits on the couch opposite ours. I didn't think anything of it until I realized that he didn't go up to the counter first. He just came in and sat down. It made me feel a little uncomfortable. I thought that he might have just followed us in. Thankfully, my mom called us over and told us that our room was ready. We left the lobby and went to our room. Shortly afterwards, we left the hotel to go meet family. I forgot about the man for the rest of the day. We returned at about 7, and my mom told us that we could go swimming in the hotel pool. We all went to our rooms, changed, and went to the pool. A few minutes after we got into the water, the same man from before walked in and just sat down. He was wearing jeans and a sweater, so he definitely wasn't going swimming. Again, we didn't think much of it until I could see that my mom was visibly worried. She pointed him out to me, and she said that if he didn't leave within 5 minutes, we needed to go back to our rooms. 5 minutes passed, and he was still there, so we got our things and left. By then, it was close to 8 o'clock. We had bought a rented movie to watch, so we planned to watch that and go straight to bed. I noticed that my mom was a little on edge because of the man watching us, and I got a little more worried myself, too. Halfway through the movie, my mom got up to get in the shower. While she was in there, someone knocked on the door and said housekeeping in a high-pitched voice. I thought it was weird that the cleaning staff would come this late, but we needed another towel, so I answered the door. I wish I hadn't been so stupid. It was the creepy man. He gave me a smile and a little wave. I just stood there, kinda motionless. My mind automatically went to the worst possible situation. Kidnapping, rape, torture, etc. I heard the water in the shower turn off. He stood there as well for a moment, and then he spoke.
"How was your swim?"
At that moment, my mom came out of the shower, saw the man at the door, pulled me back, and slammed the door in his face. She locked it immediately, and then she called the front desk from our hotel phone to report the guy. I told her to just call the police, but she didn't listen. She then requested we switch rooms. I heard footsteps stomping down the hallway away from our room. Thankfully, the guy had left. After that, we switched hotel rooms, and we didn't see that guy again during the rest of our stay.
This all happened about a year ago. After 2 months of being married to my husband, I became pregnant with our daughter. We were more shocked than happy. We were only 22 years old, and we were wanting to put building a family on hold for a couple of years while adjusting to married life. I was stressed out most of the time and worried about everything related and not related to the pregnancy. My husband called me paranoid and a worrywart. I was about 4 months pregnant when I started to believe I was being watched by someone. I would see a white 2006 Impala drive by my house at least once a week as I was leaving for work and follow me there. I told my husband and he laughed me off, calling me paranoid, saying it was just pregnancy hormones. I thought maybe I was just being a little paranoid and I left it at that. One day, I was at the supermarket and there was this middle-aged man just staring at me who followed me through the store at a distance. I told myself I was probably overthinking things and I went to the checkout. The man left the store and I dropped my suspicions. As I walked out to my car, I noticed the white Impala that I had previously mentioned in the supermarket parking lot. But it could have been anybody's. I started driving home and just a few miles away from the store, the Impala came up behind me and followed me until I came to my home and then drove on. I didn't even see that car for 2 weeks after. My husband and I were in bed, and I couldn't sleep, so I got up to walk around the house and get some water. I was at the sink, getting water from the tap, and I happened to look out the window, and I saw the outline of someone. I froze, thinking my eyes were playing tricks on me, and the figure ran off. I screamed for my husband, and he came bursting out of our room, buck naked, bless his heart, and asked what was wrong. I told him what happened, and he didn't believe I saw someone. He blamed it on the hormones, again. I was furious, and I started yelling at him and crying. He told me that I should talk to someone because it could be stress-induced, whatever is causing me to see things and be so paranoid. He said he told my mom and his about what I was going through, and they thought I had been acting off as well, and told him to have me talk to my doctor. I agreed to call my doctor only because I was very stressed out, not because I thought it was paranoia causing me to see someone and think I'm in danger. I talked to my family doctor the following week, and she told me it sounded like pregnancy-induced anxiety, along with depression, and told me that she suggested I get on medication for that immediately, because it can get worse. That upset me a lot because I knew that it wasn't just hormones making me feel this way. Someone was actually following me. Things were pretty calm for a month after that. My husband was working late one night, and I was in the kitchen cleaning up, and the security alarm started going off. Moments later, I got a phone call from the police station, and I asked them to come out immediately. Then I phoned my husband after, who left work early to come home after hearing what happened. The police checked to find which entrance set the alarm off. It was the sliding door in the living room. The frame was busted. I told the cops about the previous incidents involving a man and a white Impala that would follow me, and I told them that I thought it was the same person. My husband apologized for not believing me. After that, I didn't feel safe there anymore, so my husband and I moved closer to my parents, about 1 hour away. Nothing has happened yet, and I'm crossing my fingers that nothing will.
This encounter happened less than 24 hours ago, and it's still weighing pretty heavily on my mind, mainly because I still have questions about what actually happened. My husband and I decided to take a mini vacation to a semi-populated region near a casino resort. We both enjoy playing casino games, and we booked an inexpensive hotel room at a popular chain a few miles away from the resort. We stayed at the motel for 2 nights. This incident occurred on our last night. We came back from the casino fairly late, around 2:30 a.m., and I parked our car in the same spot as before, next to a red pickup truck. As my husband and I got out of the car, I noticed a man in the corner room, which is below our room because we were on the second floor. He looked older, in his 60s or 70s, and he was just peering through the curtains at us. My initial thought was, okay, that's weird. Afterwards, my husband said he made eye contact with the man, and his expression was just vacant, empty of emotion. I passed his room and turned the corner to go upstairs. As I did, I hear this loud barking noise from inside the room. All of a sudden, I hear the door open, and a pit bull comes tearing out of the room, barking and growling and heading towards my husband. My husband later told me that when the door was opened, the guy had the pit bull by the collar, looked directly at my husband, and then just released the dog. My husband just backed up and started kicking at the dog, trying to avoid it. The dog didn't bite him, it just ran up to him, growling, barking, and baring its teeth. Then it ran to the stairs where I was, then back over to my husband, and then finally back to the open door. The whole time I was just yelling, "What the fuck?" over and over again. Not the most eloquent, I know, but an accurate representation of what I was feeling at that moment. We've been dog owners. We are not people who have had bad experiences with dogs. We're not people who are afraid of dogs, but it felt like this dog was on attack mode. I know the stereotypes of pit bulls aren't true. They can be very sweet and wonderful dogs, so I don't know if the dog had been in the room too long or if it was just mistreated or what. Once the dog ran back to its owner, we bolted up the stairs and into our room. We didn't know what had happened, who this guy was or why he released his dog on us. We called the front desk and requested security. They came about 5 minutes later, the front desk clerk and a police officer. We told them what happened, and they said they talked to a woman downstairs who owned the dog. We were just like, woman? No, it was an older guy, not a woman. They told us they had only spoken to a woman. At that point, we were just freaked out and didn't feel comfortable staying, even though they offered to switch our room. The officer escorted us to our car, and we left, utterly befuddled as to what just happened. We ultimately decided just to drive the 3 hours home. My biggest regret is not asking them what the woman said when they came to the door. We were so focused on just getting out of there that all we really did was tell them what happened and leave. I don't know if the old man we saw was mentally ill or angry at us for some reason, or if he just wanted to scare some people, but I know we won't be heading back to that area for a long time.